Tonight on The Record, it just got stranger than fiction or even reality TV. And on a weirdness scale of 1 to 10, we're now at 15. Now Donald Trump's campaign manager, Corey Lewandowski, charged for alleged simple battery of a female reporter. On The Record takes you to Florida, where the simple battery charges were filed. And the Donald Trump campaign is here to respond, plus smart analysis from our On The Record legal panel and our political panel. But right now we hear from Donald Trump himself. He just spoke about the alleged incident involving his campaign manager. Trump speaking on board his 757 in Wisconsin.
Corey's a fine person. I looked at the tape, but the tapes were supplied by me. You know, those tapes, just so you understand, this is a very high-end club, and we had tapes all over the place, and we supplied those tapes. And those tapes, to me, are very conclusive. A lot of people are looking and saying, how can anybody be charged? When you look at that tape, I guarantee you, you were pushed around more getting onto this plane right now than she was pushed around. You take a look at this. Look at you folks back here with the cameras on this small space. You got pushed around more than she got pushed around. I just can't stand by and watch a man's life be destroyed. And take a look at her original statement. Just look at her original statement before she knew that Donald Trump is rich and has cameras all over the ceiling so that we can protect people from the standpoint of security, fire, etc., etc. Take a look at her original statement, the first words out of her mouth about her going down and, you know, pulled down or something to that effect. She was pulled down. Not pulled down. She doesn't even change her expression. I mean, I looked at the tape. And by the way, if he was that way, I would have fired him in 2 seconds. I wouldn't care. I couldn't have cared less. But I looked at the tape. There's not even a change of expression on her face. And then I looked at internet, and you take a look at the tweets, and people are saying, you got to be kidding me.
Let me ask you about Wisconsin. Let me ask you about Wisconsin, Mr. Trump. Response to all this should have been.
I think it's something that's disgraceful. I think that you as a reporter and all of you as a reporter probably get treated a lot rougher than that on a daily basis. I have never seen anything like it. I cannot imagine how they did it. He's got a very good lawyer. They will fight it. I told him he should never settle that case. And I know that is not to my benefit. But I think when people see that tape and they take a look at that tape and they take a look at her initial statement before she knew she was on tape, take a look at that. You have to see it. You take a look at her initial statement. It sounded like she got thrown out of a building. You take a look at that, and then, excuse me?
She did get bruises on her arm.
I don't know if they were bruises from that. Why? Who said they were bruises from that? How do you know those bruises weren't there before?
That's what the police.
I don't know what the police said. How do you know those bruises weren't there before? I'm not a lawyer, but she said she had a bruise on her arm. I mean, to me, if you're going to get squeezed, wouldn't you think that she would have yelled out a scream or something if she has bruises on her arm? Take a look at her.
Let me ask you about.
Take a look at her facial expression. Her facial expression doesn't even change. So, you know, you say bruises on her arms. How did they get there? Who put them there? I don't know that he put them there. In any event, I'm sticking up for a person because I'm not going to let a person's life be destroyed over somebody that we have on tape. And you just take a look at what people are saying when they see that incident on tape. And no jury, in my opinion, no jury would convict a man and destroy a man's life over what you would.
We begin with Palm Beach Post lead political reporter George Bennett in West Palm Beach. George, nice to have you join us.
Pleasure to be here.
George, what can you tell me about this district attorney down there?
The state attorney in Palm Beach County is Dave Ehrenberg. He's an elected official, Democrat, and his office will ultimately make the decision. The police today filed what's called a probable cause affidavit, which says there's probable cause to charge Corey Lewandowski with misdemeanor battery. But then ultimately it is up to the prosecutor's office whether to actually go ahead with the charges. And he has a court appearance May 4th, so I guess sometime between now and May 4th, they'll make that determination.
Okay, so as I understand it, the sum total of evidence, at least that the police considered, is that video that we keep seeing, the Washington Post reporter who says that he saw eyewitness testimony, and Michelle Fields, who said that something happened to her. She was grabbed. This was an audio statement in a short time after, but she doesn't know who grabbed her. She didn't identify who it was. She didn't have a name until the Washington Post reporter gave her a name. Is that the sum total of the evidence, or is there more?
I think that's it. And then, the police report also mentions the bruises on her arms. So the Jupiter police observed those as well, according to their report.
Is the DA saying anything at this point? I mean, I realize it has not yet been filed in court, but is there an expectation that this is actually going to lead to charges in court?
They haven't commented, and I'm more of a politics guy than a legal guy, but I know that the procedure is a police department files a probable cause affidavit like this, and then the prosecutors review whether to go ahead with charges based on if there's proof beyond a reasonable doubt, and also and I don't know the exact legal terminology, but whether they have an expectation that they would win a case in court.
Okay, well, now let me ask you a politics question then. The Florida primary has already occurred, but do you have any sort of sense of how this is resonating with voters down in Florida?
Well, I think, like everything involving Donald Trump, there's been a very polarized response that we've seen today. You saw Ted Cruz and John Kasich criticize him, and I think Ted Cruz called it the culture of his campaign, and we just heard Donald Trump's defense of this, and I know just from social media the response of Trump supporters and Trump critics has been pretty polarized, like just about everything else having to do with this campaign.
George, thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
So is Donald Trump's campaign manager in legal hot water, or is it just political hot water? The On the Record legal panel is here. Former homicide detective and criminal defense attorney Ted Williams and former prosecutor Katie Phang. Let me ask you quick questions, both to each of you. Katie, I'll go first to you as a former Florida prosecutor. Would you charge this case in court, yes or no?
I would. I know you guys are probably going to disagree with me, but I would. As a former prosecutor, it meets all the elements of the offense of a simple battery. It was not done in self-defense. Let me tell you something. It meets all the elements. I would charge it.
Ted, would you?
Absolutely not. I'd love to be the defense lawyer in this case.
Okay, Katie, let me go to you. If you were, now you do defense work. You're a defense lawyer. Could you win this as a defense lawyer? Who would you rather be on this case, the prosecutor or the defense attorney?
I'd rather be the defense attorney, truth be told. At this point, there is a lot of issues that are to come. Because at this point, there's going to be jury nullification. The jury's going to say, are you kidding me? There's not anything more serious to be prosecuting in Palm Beach County than this simple battery case. It doesn't diminish that maybe something happened to Michelle Fields, but there was a delay of 3 days between the actual incident and when it was reported to the police. That alone, I think, is a problem for Michelle Fields.
Ted?
I don't even see the specific intent or the intent that's needed for a battery here. Look, let's just be candid here. If this was not about Donald Trump, we would never hear about a case like this. This guy would never be prosecuted. There are diversion programs. This would have gone into a diversion program.
You know what? I don't think he'd taken diversion. I mean, like, look, let's skip the issue here about bad manners and being rude and all that. We're just focusing on the legal stuff. In my wildest dreams, I don't see how a jury ever convicts on this with all the ambiguity. In fact, we have a picture. If we can put up a still picture here that it looks like there are two Secret Service, looks like, is what I say, looks like two Secret Service who are protecting Donald Trump, is that they are reaching for her. I don't know whether or not that was what provoked the bruises or not. That's the problem. There's your reasonable doubt right there.
Absolutely. And you have reasonable doubt. Greta, I grew up in Louisiana. I had 2 high school coaches, Kennedy and Moore, and when they grabbed you, they should have been in jail. Look here. What I'm simply saying is, under the circumstances here, you got a touching. But was it incidental? Was it accidental? And you're going to take this man down? I can unequivocally tell you one more time that in America, you are innocent until proven guilty. There's something very troubling. This is about Donald Trump. This is not about Lewandowski.
All right. In light of what you said, Katie, that you'd rather be the defense attorney, and frankly, I think everybody would rather be the defense attorney on this one. Do you realistically think that that this campaign manager is going to be charged? Is the prosecutor going to want to take this case to trial?
I think the prosecution is going to take this to trial, and I think the reason why is he's never going to settle for anything less. No, listen, he's not going to settle for a plea offer. He's going to take this to trial, and he better hope that that jury that listens to this case believes in Trump and is in Trump supporters, because if not, he may just get convicted. There is independent evidence. There's independent evidence, I'm sorry, there is, from that other Washington Post reporter as to what happened.
Katie, you know what? I mean, who can predict what jury's going to do? But I would so much rather be the defense lawyer on this one. I mean, a million times on this one.
And Greta, not only that, prosecutorial discretion. I would think that a prosecutor should look at this and understand what he have here. Let her go to Silver Court. Let her sue the hell out of this guy. But to give a criminal record under these circumstances or try to get a conviction, I think he's got a problem.
Anyway, Katie, Ted, thank you.